Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back to another logging from scratch episode. And look! The forest has grown. It is large and in charge and ready to be cut down. So, I do have some plans because we have some exciting, fun stuff coming up here pretty quick. I think we'll probably have 2 episodes, and then, yeah, we'll see some cool stuff here. So, my plan today was to lease. Well, actually, I don't know. I have a couple things I gotta do. So, we have 2 projects on the go right now. One, I gotta unload this thing that we were playing around with. So I gotta unload this guy and put it here. Maybe I'll just start on that. We'll get this off here first, and then maybe the next episode we'll do on the other plan. Oh my god! Hey, my controls remembered. I didn't even have to unplug my joysticks. That's amazing. I should be given some kind of weird award for controls. Just kidding. I'm not awarding anybody anything. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of rough pile these because it's fine. Oops. Pull that guy in there. Jiggly claw. So man, it has been a busy week. I haven't recorded a video in, I think it's been about a week, maybe longer. Yeah, maybe less than a week. I can't remember anymore. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Like, why is it stuck? Don't be stuck. The stupid dynamic attachments thing. Yeah, it's been a very, very busy last week and a bit for me. I have been working some crazy shifts at the mill. We've had some wacky 14-hour days, so it's been a gong show split between all the jobs. It's been very tiring. So I haven't been modding. I haven't been doing anything. Today is my first day kind of back to normal a little bit. And then next week everything should go back completely to normal, so I'm looking forward to that. And I might be dropping a job or 2 for a bit just to kind of catch up, because I'm really running behind in the modding stuff, which is not something I enjoy doing, but unfortunately life is life, and if this was a full-time job and paid like a full-time job, I could totally do it, but it doesn't, so the other job's got to be priority, unfortunately. I wonder if I can... No, I better not. I was going to stack them on top of each other, but I guess I better not, because I don't know if they'll load up into that thingy if they're stacked on top of each other. Bloop. So we need another, I guess we need another thumbnail of unloading these bad boys. Oh, that looks good. Ooh, yeah, sexy right there. Thumbnail for the win. I did a really funny experiment. I don't know if you noticed on... So I had like 3 videos that I did thumbnails that I didn't put a title on. Like, I'm like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop being gimmicky, and I'm just gonna put a picture, and I'm not gonna put, like, you know, a big, like, what I did in the episode title, you know, like unloaded at the mill, or unloading pallets, or blah blah, or whatever, right? You know. And surprisingly, to my surprise, I was expecting nothing really different at all, but I actually had the lowest view count on that group of videos. And then I released another one within the exact same time frame that had gaudy looking stupid text on it, and it got almost double the views. And not because of the content, because the content wasn't any better. Like, so that goes to show, apparently I have to keep these gaudy titles. I always thought it was a little stupid, but now I see why all the YouTubers do it, because it gets you more clicks, I guess, and hopefully people enjoy the content enough they stick around it. I always hate being like clickbait. I always have so many things on YouTube I come across, and I'm like, oh man, sweet, look at this. You know, the world's biggest woman, you know, fights the world's smallest man, or something stupid like that. And then you click on it, and it's like, you know, 2 cats in a pool swimming or some stupid thing, and you're like, well, that's not what I clicked on. So there's something to be said about having clickbait titles that don't actually lead to good content. It's okay to be a little clickbaity, like, you know, maybe you're doing something in your video that's, you know, only a small section of it and you want to highlight that. That's fine, as long as the content is actually in the video. I think that's the important part. But a lot of people don't do that. They just don't. They put the dumb stuff on there, so... Anyway, that's my rant for that. Okay, so I'm going to sell this, or I'm going to unlease it, or whatever you do. Return it. I'm going to return it. I don't need this anymore. We're done with you. So let's, what do I do? Just click on it? Yeah, that's right. Now, unfortunately, I did let the time go ahead a bit. That's why the trees are growing at such a rapid rate. But in doing so, I totally forgot that I had leased items. I should have sold them before I did that. Because now I'm $11,000 in debt, which is horrendously bad. It's not a good time. So now I've got to make up for that somehow. But I do have a lot of wood that's laying around ready to go. This episode I'm going to plant more trees because I want to keep a consistent, a consistent field happening. But in the next one, I want to start cutting down that stuff because we got to get some profit happening. So in the next video, we're going to be completely processing the whole time, as many trees as we can get. We're just gonna give her. So this episode, I'm gonna be doing a lot of tree planting because tree planting's good. Unload some pallets, get some trees going. And that's pretty much this one, because I do want to get some substantial future growth happening. That's the key. And we got to get that $11,000 back, because we're a little bit in the hole there, folks. But it should be good. So I don't know. It looks like we only made it to there with the last tree thing. Maybe what we'll do is we're gonna, after this one drops, we're gonna turn this whole sucker around. And we're gonna go back the same way. Oh, I dropped a tree there too, little bugger. And okay. Spot where my actual trees are. I should have mowed this. I'll tell you one thing I'm never gonna do again. I'm never gonna do farming again. I'm so done with farming. This is as close as you guys will ever see me ever again get to farming. At least in my episodes of any kind on YouTube. Because, man, that was so annoying. The corn was bad. And that wheat can suck it. It can just stay there. I'll plant trees in the wheat or whatever that crap is. Because I just don't care. We ain't going back to that. Oh, what am I doing? I should raise this up. I just forget to raise it up. So it's kind of like farming, but not really. Everybody's like, how do you not know how to farm? I'm like, because all I ever do is log. That's it. Never, ever farm, ever. Like I was saying, I think I've driven maybe 2, maybe 3 tractors out of this entire game series. Pretty impressive, right? Let's hire a guy to do this. I don't feel like it. You. Be a hired worker. Wait. How do I do that? Hire worker H. Do I get like an error? It says they've completed their task. Well, apparently I'm just a man on my own today doing this. But yeah, farming. Farming was bad. That's all I have to say. Farming was a bad time. I don't know how some people can do that. Like, I don't, man. I find it so obnoxiously boring. Even this, I hate doing this. Not so much a hate. It's more just like, why? Like, I'd rather go cut a pre-done forest, one that's already grown up. But I did promise everybody I'd be doing something a little different on this one, just to kind of, you know, change it up, be different. So here we are, being different. Whether you like it or not, we're gonna be different. Alright, there we go. Ooh, oh, there we go. Lay them trees. Or not. Oh, there you go. Like, why is it not planting? This is gonna be a wacky little forest, eh? No, don't lay it on top of that tree. Ah! Oh, good, we just cleared it. That was close. Because I'm going through the process of trying to... Okay, get this. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Is all I'm trying to do, I have no contract. We're talking about a phone. So I have a cell phone, and I'm trying to upgrade it to a new cell phone. You'd think that's a pretty easy process because, you know, most cell companies are dying to get you on contracts. They're dying to get you into a new phone. Not this guy. Apparently getting Jordan a new phone is the hardest process of the year. I've talked to. So what happened was like, I called the number because I've had bad past orders in the past where it was just like I screwed it up or something got screwed up. So I'm like, okay, this time around I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna make sure that it's all done properly because I'll talk to one of their agents and we'll just do it clean. No room for Jordan to screw it up. It'll be all their thing. So I call up. I'm speaking to this very nice woman. This is Virgin Mobile, by the way. Anybody in Canada who has Virgin Mobile. So I'm speaking to this very nice lady. And I'm like, okay, I'm looking to get a new phone. She said, what phone? And I said, okay, well, I'm going to try to pick up the Note 9. That's the one I've always, wanted to get since it came out. She's like, okay, cool. Well, we can definitely do that. We go through the song and dance of the, talking about getting plans and contracts and blah, blah. And I knew exactly what I wanted, so that was really quick and painless. So we get to the end of the order. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, we'll ship that out to you right away. And I was just like, well, okay. I'm like, well, where are you shipping it to? She's like, oh, to your address. And I said, okay, well, what address do you guys have on file? Because I have, like, a new address. I've moved places. She's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, yeah, can I update it and want to ship it here? She's like, oh, well, I can't update it now. And I'm like, well, why not? She's like, well, I've already pressed the order button. I'm like, okay, so unorder it, cancel it, whatever, and then we'll do either like a new order or we just change the address on that one. She's just like, no, that's not possible. We can't do that. And I'm like, well, what the hell do you mean it's not possible? I'm like, you made the order, so, contact the people who get the order after you and just tell them to update the address or, cancel the order or whatever, right? And she's like, oh, no, that's not possible. We can't do that. And I'm like, okay, well, that's obviously bullshit. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to speak to your supervisor. So she passed me her supervisor. Well, her supervisor was 10 times dumber than she was because she's like, oh, no, there's no way to do that. And I'm like, I said, well, is the phone on the truck right now on its way to me? Like, it's ordered, like it's coming to me? She's like, well, no, it takes 5 to 7 days to process. And I said, exactly. I said, so can you please contact whoever's next in line to look after the order, right? She's like, oh, I don't know. We've never done that before. And I'm like, you've never, ever had to call and change an order of any kind out of your 20 million customers that you may or may not have, right? She's like, no. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. I said, well, you talk to your manager or whoever the hell is in charge of you. You get them to call me because this is absolutely ridiculous. Like I go to order a phone and you're telling me you ordered it to the wrong address. You didn't confirm the address. You didn't go, just to confirm, this is the address we're going to ship it to. So it's entirely their fault. I'm just sitting here going, okay, well, I guess that's how that is. So I'm frustrated. Next day comes along. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call them and straighten this out because I'm like just PO'd, man. Nobody called me back. I'm like, all right, I'm completely PO'd. I want this dealt with. So I get this customer service agent, another guy, and I explained, like right off the bat, I was already a little pissed off. So I'm like, oh yeah, I explained the whole situation of what happened. The girl screwed up the order, and he's like, oh yeah, no worries, buddy. He's like, all we gotta do is just call or email the company that does the shipping, and we could just get the address changed. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, no kidding. That's all you gotta do? He's like, yeah, it's easy. It's like, I just sent the email now. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm like, you're awesome, but I want to talk to your supervisor because that's not what the chick last night told me at all. So I get forwarded to their manager, main head supervisor of the customer service, and he's super nice guy as well, and he's, talking me up, and he's just like, yeah, that other team's more the night support team. They don't really know much. They weren't really supposed to be doing orders or anything. Whatever the case. And I'm like, okay, well, then, I'm glad we got sorted. He's like, yeah, we'll have that shipping address changed. We'll have it shipped out to you here within a couple days. And I'm like, well, frick, that's great. I'm happy now. I got exactly what I wanted. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, this is great. So like 7 days go by and I still don't get any kind of shipping notification. I've talked to the chat agents a couple times about, like, will I receive some kind of notification when it's shipped? They're like, yeah, you'll get an email. So I don't get nothing for 7 days. And I'm like, well, this is weird. I mean, I should have got an order, like a confirmation or something by now. So I went and talked to their chat agent person again on their online. And I'm like, hey, just checking on my order. I want to know, when's it planning to ship out, if you have any details or updates. So they go for like a long time and disappear. Yeah, it'll be one moment, and like 15 minutes later, I'm like, well, did they disconnect or something? Anyway, this person comes back on. They're like, oh, that order was canceled. And I was like, the order was canceled. Okay. I'm like, so in my mind, I'm thinking they canceled the old order. They must have made a new order, like to redo the phone or something. She's like, nope, nothing like that. There's no order at all pending on the account. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll order a new one now then, I guess. So we go over the plan again. Well, now, because the 7 days are up, the promotions are over. So the promotion I had that was $0 down to get this phone is now going to cost me $199 to get the same deal that they screwed up. So I was like, dude, are you friggin' serious? Like all I wanted to do was up my address. You guys screwed up the order. And then she goes on to tell me, oh, you can't update your address through us. You have to go into a store to update it. And I'm like, you are taking Looney Tune pills, man. Like, what company says, oh, I can't update your address via the phone? Sorry, that's impossible. You need to physically come into the store, and then you need to tell us what your address is. And I'm like, huh? So, very frustrated. I went to the local store. We don't have a Virgin Mobile store here. It's because we're such a small little shitty town. But we have like a agent dealer who does Virgin Mobile. And I went and explained my story to that guy, and he was just like, dude, that shit's whacked, basically. And I was like, right? I'm waiting still, like, at this moment for a call back from a supervisor, which is probably never going to happen. But I'm like, Jesus, honor your deal for screwing up at least. Like, that drives me bonkers. But anyway, so now we're sitting here. What I did is I actually ordered one of the Note 9 phones through the local guy. And I said, well, if this deal goes to shit online and they're not able to fix it, I'm just going to literally buy it from the store and deal with it that way, because I am so done with them that it's not even funny. I was actually even thinking maybe switching providers. That's kind of how PO'd I was. Let's just say Jordan was not happy. So that's how that went. So I might switch providers. I hate TELUS with like a passion, but literally after this experience, TELUS never did this to me. Literally never. Not in a million years. So I'm thinking it's time maybe to tell Virgin to stuff it up their stuff hole, because I'm really not happy about it. But yeah, sorry to give you a whole episode of a maybe not so interesting story, but isn't that crazy? I just have the literally shittiest luck when it comes to orders going bad. Like, just horrible. I have like a story about the drone. I don't know if I've ever told that in an episode, where that became a big debacle where I had to like report the source to the Better Business Bureau because they wouldn't return a drone that was broken, and it was broken like right out of the box, and they wouldn't return it. And made a big stink about it. Anyway, I ended up getting my money back because Jordan is a very determined person. So when something doesn't go my way and I know it's not my fault, I'm a horribly accurate person. When I know something, I've done something wrong, you know, like clearly I've made a mistake, I accept it. I go, you know what? I screwed up. I have to pay the price, right? But when somebody else is responsible and they're telling me it's my fault and I know it's not my fault, man, I do not give up, ever. I am the most tenacious human for getting justice. It's not even funny. But anyway, funny story. So hopefully I get a phone eventually, and it all works out. But there's definitely no promises for sure. Look how many trees we planted during this long, irate story about companies. Oh, if you get right in here, you can hear those little chain things. That's kind of cool. That's what I want to do with the skidder. I want to make a skidder with chains, and I'm going to put chain sounds on the tire track so it actually sounds better. Alright, this is my last row, and then I got to call this episode. The very last row. It's the last row of the rows. What do we got in there? Oh, we got a few trees in there. Did I tell you guys? No, I didn't tell you guys. Man, there's so much that's happened since the last time we recorded. I started up my band again, doing metal music. I absolutely love it. It's so fun. That's some new developments. Probably stuff you'll never hear or see on here, so don't worry about that. But, you know, just telling you guys a New Year's update on my life and how it's going. And got some fun stuff coming. I have some things I want to tell you guys about, but I can't yet because we're not sure about what's going to happen yet. So, news is on the way for some cool stuff. There should be some releases here really quick. I don't know about really quick, but fairly quick. I'd say when this video comes out, within the next couple of weeks, you're probably going to see some stuff, some things happening. I'm just going to park this right back over here. Alright, so we made a little bit of a forest. Break, shut it off. We planted quite a few trees, actually. So this will grow up into a nice, beautiful forest. In the next video, I think I'm going to... Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll just leave these saplings for now. We should get them in the ground as quick as we can, though. Because the longer they sit, the faster they'll grow. So in the next one, maybe we'll do a little bit more tree planting, and then I'm probably going to rent a processor and go process some of that bigger wood that we have at that other spot. So anyway, gents, I guess that's the end of this episode. So if you guys like the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe. And if you're in the bush, don't forget to hug a tree. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.